Hey now,
Hey, Pete.
what's up, KB?
How's it going?
Welcome to what I'm attempting to, I guess, be a Pocket Pete podcast.
Oh,
Um, I'm excited to just chat with you. I'm using this as an excuse to get to know really interesting people that are driven that I want to kind of hear their story about. So, um, thank you for being part of it.
of course, I'm getting notifications on my phone now that we're on the computer that Pocket Pete is live talking about KV, and I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
nice.
thanks. I like it. So your
Yeah,
followers
bring it
are
up.
getting that notification on their phone right now for sure.
Yeah, I'm actually my phone is my camera right now, so I don't know
Oh,
what's going on in the world. Um, so how I'd love to hear where you got the idea to start getting into real estate and why have you always been hyper focused on the investment end of it and like what was the catalyst? Who were your mentors? Who inspired you? What made this happen?
so that's very interesting. I wish I got. I'm into my early 30s now. I'm 33. I got into real estate 2 years ago, and the only thing I regret is that I wish I knew about real estate investing or the traditional side 10 years ago. So, because where I'm at right now, I believe if you can really be a good salesman, if you can really be good in communication and talking to people, and you can be hyper focused on your business, just like keep your head down and stay consistent with what is told to you, just the basics, you'll get enough business. And I don't think you need a college degree for that or take student loan in this country. Um, so talking about myself, I have a bachelor's in engineering. I'm not an engineer. That was from back home in India. Then I was working full time in Mumbai, and while I was working there, I started applying for business schools to the US. And I was fortunate enough to get an admission at Hofstra University. So I got here 10 years ago. I moved to the US in 2014. I have an MBA in business analytics,
Nice.
and I have been an analyst for the last 10 years. Like, remember when I said I have a degree in engineering, but I'm not an engineer? But hey,
Right.
I have an MBA in business analytics, and I am an analyst full times. So I'm pretty good with numbers. Like, I won't touch my fingers, anything. If you give me any number to calculate, like subtract, add, percentage, multiply, divide, I would be pretty close without even touching anything to it. And I would like to thank my dad and my grandpa, his dad, for those genes which come naturally to me. Real estate, I wish I knew it in my early 20s or even as teenager. I have no family background in real estate, but something that started interesting me getting into real estate was about 3 years ago. I was like, I'm saving up decent money. I should get into fix and flips. Like, because I was always curious about the architecture of the house, like how the houses look before and after. So I started learning more about it. And when I'm learning and learning, and like I'm somebody who doesn't just like jump into it. Like because of my study background, I want to do my due diligence. And what I find out is, especially in New York or Long Island, the market is so saturated, you cannot really find good deals where they talk about the basic 70% of ARV minus repairs is your number, maximum allowable offer. You cannot really find them on MLS. Like, yes, there are people out there who are doing it from MLS, they get lucky, but it's pretty hard. And the only way to go to get deals on your own is direct to seller marketing. And while I'm so now from fix and flip, I'm talking about direct to seller marketing, and I'm meeting these people. I'm going to networking events, and I hear about wholesaling. I'm like, what is that? So then I started learning about wholesaling, where you get a property under contract directly with the seller, and you can assign the contract, and you can still make good money. So I deviated my approach to wholesaling because one, I am making money, and second, I can shadow my investors who are buying from me, which is happening right now as I speak. So that way, I'm learning. So one thing I think I know pretty much on the back of my head is direct to seller marketing, and we can talk about it in a different day because there are like 7 to 8 different avenues. So I think I'm pretty good with that. I know what to do, where to put money, how to get results. Um, Now that I'm wholesaling, I'm also shadowing people who are buying properties from me and who are fixing it. And now that I'm licensed with Sirhan, they are listing it back with me. For example, my recent deal, 56 cubic in Huntington Station. I found this off-market deal for investor buyers, and they fixed it up. They closed last week of August, and they took 4 to 5 weeks. They fixed it up fully, and we listed it on the market the first week of October. And within a week, and two open houses and some showings from the showing time. We had a bunch of showings, and we are under contract at over asking. So, knock on the wood, we're on track to close it.
Nice.
And plus, I'm getting to understand how people are working with the contractors, what numbers they're landing at, how they're working with the lenders, how much interest they're paying, how much profit they're going to walk away with after paying the realtor fee, the attorney fee, the closing fee, everything. So that's been my journey so far.
It sounds like you went what most people's paths are, I'd say, backwards from the path of jumping into real estate. You started almost, and I did this too, as an investor first, and learned that portion, and then put yourself into a realtor space to just add another avenue to make money, right? So, Are you a realtor? Obviously, you'll, like, if someone wants to sell their house, you're available to them.
Yeah.
But your day to day, you're in the investor space, trying to find deals, trying to help other people
move their deals.
Yeah, which you've done for me, and you're amazing at it, and you're
I appreciate it.
You know, I love being able to like share with you what we have, and you just going out and connecting with your connections and seeing how we can all make money together.
Yeah, I think that's what real estate is about, just like talking to people.
Yeah. So when you jumped into this, what was different than what you expected when you first started learning about this real estate world?
So very basic thing, like somebody will tell you, hey, I bought the house for 400, I put 100,000 in it, and I sold it for 700. Okay, so 400 plus 100, 500, you sold for 700. Oh, you make $200,000. Wow, that's more than double the salary I make in a year.
Right.
That is not the case, because
That's correct.
You don't know if they're using their own cash, they're raising cash, they have their closing fee while buying it, they have the closing cost while selling it, you're paying the realtors, you have holding cost. So I understood the difference between hard cost and soft cost. You have the taxes, you have the maintenance, the time it takes to sell the property on the market can be 3 to 6 months. Not everybody gets lucky selling it within 2 to 3 months. So all of that. So maybe at the end of the day, you're making $80,000-$90,000, even though your spread of purchase price plus renovation and ARV is $200,000. It doesn't mean that you're walking away 200. You could be making 125. You could be making 150, depending on so many different scenarios. So that was a big thing which I had no idea about. Another thing I would tell you, which I previously forgot to mention in my real estate journey. So I started learning about real estate, fix and flip, wholesaling, direct to seller marketing, basically off market world 2 years ago. But I didn't become an agent 2 years ago. I think I joined Sirhan, I got licensed, and Sirhan is my first brokerage I'm working with earlier this year in January or end of December, like around the holiday time. So it hasn't been a full year, but I have been blessed enough to be around people on my team and the mentors I have around me and the brokerage I work with, that it has actually helped my off-market business. Now, obviously, yes, I got lucky, I got blessed, but you have to put yourself up there, because if you're not showing up to the events, you're not showing up to the meetings, you're not showing up to the calls, you're not doing your stuff out there on the road, going to the meetups, going to the open houses, like providing your services, then the business is not going to come to you.
Yeah.
So I had to put myself out there for all these opportunities. And what has tremendously helped me is that I present myself as like your deal finder. So like, for example, like you were saying, you reached out to me to help with some stuff, whether it works or not, I was able to bring you some offers. And I'm sure like we're probably a couple of weeks away from locking up a deal.
Right.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So, yeah, and I would say when it comes to luck, often is given to those that are prepared. So
Yeah.
like you keep putting yourself in positive positions, putting yourself in places where you're meeting the right people, you're connecting, you're learning, and you're in that opportunity space to get lucky. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that,
Fortune favors the brave. I think Grant Sargent, our CEO, says that a lot. Yeah.
yeah. So what is the goal for KV over the next 5 years? What would you like that to look like?
Hey, I might be getting too optimistic, but my goal in the next 5 years, I can talk about the short term goal. I want to quit my W 2 in the next 2 to 3 months, hopefully by the end of the year.
All right.
Um, I think I'm on track to do about between 10 to 12 transactions in my year one as realtor slash off market deal finder between off markets and on markets. Next year, I would like to do 25 transactions between MLS and off market again. So that's my short term goal. In the next 12 to 24 months, I would like to do at least 3 flips and about 10 wholesale deals. And in about 5 years from now, because the end goal is generational wealth and freedom of time. So fix and flip, wholesale, all these deals, they will give you cash flow. They will give you put cash in your pocket, and you can have pretty much decent life. But the end goal is buy and hold, where I believe in buying assets, and the assets are appreciating over time, and you can get write-offs through the taxes and whatever deductions it provides you. So in about 5 years, I would like to own 10 properties in
Okay.
5 years and doing 25 plus 25 to 40 deals a year.
Yeah. I bet I can't wait till you learn that there's a break in the resistance point when it
Mhm.
comes to doing deals,
Yeah.
where as you break past that number 12, you get to 15, like there will be a moment where you're like 40 will seem easy. Because
Really? You think so?
yeah, I know. So I lived it. I've helped other agents through it. I see it all the time. Because you're building all these relationships that you won't see day to day, but like you're creating this avalanche of opportunity. And especially if you're in the space where you're working with investors, those are repeatable clients. My second year in real estate, I sold 47 houses.
Wow, really?
A lot of them were, I'd say 17 to 20 of them were two sides, where like I helped someone find a flip, but
Yeah,
I
and you so
relisted the other side, and the avalanche just kept coming, and then it goes from your efforts to your systems, right?
yeah.
That's something you're gonna have to just keep an eye on, but I would just know that the dam is gonna break, and you got to be prepared to have systems in place for what you're creating. Because I can tell you right now, you're a force to be reckoned with, and I don't think you realize how big it's going to get and how fast.
No,
So
I greatly appreciate you saying that, especially coming from somebody well recognized all over the island like yourself, and obviously you have this massive experience under your belt. Uh, I actually used to hesitate telling people about my short-term goals because,
Mhm.
let's say, like 6 months ago, I only had done like maybe 2 transactions, right? 2 or 3, maybe 3, maybe six
Right.
months ago, and they'll be like, "Huh, this guy, he's done like only 3 deals, and he thinks he can do 25 deals next year, or quit his job, or like supplement the income and blah blah blah." But you know what? Like, I think that was like a limiting mindset. So
Right.
I need to put it out there, and it's absolutely fine if I don't touch 25.
Right.
But then I was also scared of judgment or people laughing at me or what people will think. I'm sure like there's so many things that can like the blockage around you that can be created, but you just need to get out of that bubble. I think it's
Yeah,
all.
that is the biggest obstacle for every single one of us, is mindset and us setting our own ceilings.
Yeah.
And actually the conversation I just had with Crystal on this podcast was the whole time was her discussing how she broke through her mindset. But we
Huh?
do we set people on a pedestal. I said that in our in the flip class that you were at, is that we often will put people ahead of us that we see as people we want to learn from, but not people that we can pass. And we set our own limits by viewing it that way. I have an agent that we have lunch every Monday, and I said, well, why don't you go after the town that you want to go after and be that person? And they said, well, because that person is that, like another agent that dominates that area is already that. So until we really discussed it, that he didn't realize he was just putting that person on a pedestal, and he felt like he belonged below it. But that there is enough in the world for everyone to accelerate, and it's really important to just tell yourself there's no limit.
Yeah,
and
100%.
not put anybody in a place where like you'll always do less than they will do.
No, 100%. There's like, I'm learning a lot. That's all I can say. I'm not only learning about the business, the transactions I'm doing, I'm also learning about people, like who to really trust and who not to trust, who are transparent or who are just like creating like a shiny object feeling just on the outside and there's nothing really inside, and who really to stay away from. So I'm learning a lot, like reading people, especially.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and you'll find that there are people that this is such a small community.
It is.
That there is very little that you can hide if you're doing something shady or unscrupulous, or like there. So it's rare that you get away with it for a long period of time, and it really, if you're not doing the right thing, you can still make money, but there's a limit because there's so much collaboration in this business.
Yeah. And I believe when what goes around comes around.
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%.
Very cool.
So what would you tell somebody that is thinking about jumping into this world? How would you advise them to compress time, to get bypass some of the roadblocks that you had when you first started? What would you tell the person you were 2 years ago that would get you past where you are today?
So I would say, one, don't overthink about it. Just do it. If you want to get into real estate, just do it. And two, like there's a difference between, hey, I'm interested in real estate, right? And second is I'm committed to real estate. I'm interested in real estate. I'm just like swiping on my Instagram and not doing anything about it. Oh, I'm interested. I'm interested. The houses look beautiful. The pictures come out great. But then being committed to real estate is literally like, if you have one job, and like people have life, like yes, you're allowed to have life, but when you're free, can you maybe try to connect with some mentors around you? Can you try to go to meetups? Can you try to educate yourself? That's what I would suggest. Like find a mentor in local community. Try to learn as much as possible from YouTube, from online, Google, and just do it. Like I say, I wish I knew about real estate 10 years ago. I wish somebody had guided me, but I did not. But I don't regret it. And I see how much potential real estate has. I think it's the only way to attain financial freedom, and you can buy back your time and not have a boss in your life. Where you like, I come from India. I used to go home once in 2 years, because 1 year I'm saving my vacation, PTO, paid time off, for traveling around, and 1 year until the end of the year I'm not taking any vacation because I want to go home and see my family. And if I have my own business and I can put system in place where it's a running machine and I don't have to be in my business 24/7, I stay on the business. My phone is with me, my laptop's with me, so I can take care of it even from other part of the world. I would love that lifestyle.
Yeah, and it's achievable.
Yeah.
I'm excited that you're on that trajectory.
Thank you. Thank
Who
you.
would you say your mentors are, or that helped you get where you are now?
So interestingly, I learned a lot about wholesaling from Brent Daniels. I joined his coaching program.
Right.
So that was like my theoretical learning. But practical learning, I would say Naman Coker.
Okay.
He goes by Jay. I recently did a JV deal with him, a wholesale deal, which we made a decent change on it, which was pretty awesome. Um, and I don't have that many mentors around me, but like I'm more than happy to call. Look, I look up to you and Vanessa both. Like the way you guys are running the business, that's pretty cool. Like I go to your meetups, I follow you around. So anybody who is around me, who I'm trying to learn with, let it be like my broker, John Walsh. I did my first listing with him. I learned a lot from him. So he's a mentor in some space. He's guiding me through. My current listing is with Edgar from my office. He's a mentor. Anybody around me, Marlon is one of the guys who handles a lot of rentals. Jeff in our office, like he teaches me a lot. He showed me how to drive for dollars. So whoever I have learned from, even 1 cent, I consider them as my friend and a mentor.
Right.
Like I would give them the credit.
Yeah.
100%.
And are you mentoring anybody?
Not yet, no. But I'm open to it once I feel like, I have achieved something. Or listen, I think like anybody who's starting new, I obviously know a little bit more than them. So I'm open to like, if I can answer something, I will surely help them connect to somebody who can help answer their questions.
Right.
I can help them I can help them connect with the attorneys, the hard money lenders, the traditional loan guys, any big broker out there, any big investor out there. I would suggest them. I would help them go to all these meetups. Maybe they don't know how to find these meetups, so I can show them like where to find these meetups.
Right. All right. Yeah. If anyone's watching this, reach out to KV. He needs someone to mentor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I think you're fabulous, and I think it's important that you do find somebody that you can pull up, because you are more advanced than you think, and it's often I think I said this also in our flip class. It's really important to have people that are helping you get to the next level, and you need people that you're helping get to another level too, because it forces you to do the things you're supposed to do. Because if you're telling somebody this is what you need to do, you're going to realize you haven't done that in 3 months, and that you got to stick to what works and keep doing it.
100%. Absolutely.
All right.
Cool.
I appreciate KV. Anyone wants to reach out to KV, looking for a deal, looking for a great investor, or just an agent, reach out. He's fantastic. He's on his way up.
Thank you, Pete. Yeah, for everybody who's out there, my cell phone number is 516-972-3535. I am very confident if you call me or text me like, hey, do you have any off-market investor-friendly opportunity? I should have something in back of my pocket. I consider myself as like your deal finder. So if anybody out there, forget about learning. If anybody out there who's looking to get started with real estate investing, or maybe you are a seasonal investor and looking for your next project, or maybe you're an agent who has cash buyers working with them and you want to pick up another deal for them, hit me up. Text me at my cell number or DM me on Instagram. Really KV is my handle, REALEKV, and I'll surely have something for you.
All right. Thanks, KV. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Pete. I appreciate you inviting me here, and I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye, guys.